You know that feeling, right? When a song comes on and just reaches right in and changes everything. Your mood, your focus, maybe even how you experience time itself. Well, it's not just you. That's because music is one of the most powerful and honestly mysterious forces in our lives. It's so much more than background noise. It's actually a tool we use to build our reality.
But how? I mean, really, how does that work? How can a few simple notes, which are, let's be real, just vibrations moving through the air, make you feel joy, or total heartbreak, or this incredible sense of peace? How does sound get inside our heads and have such a huge impact on our inner world? It's a massive question, one that people have been wrestling with for, well, forever.
So to even begin to answer that, we've got to dive deep. We're going to explore one of the most personal connections in all of human experience. That link between music and our own consciousness. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, first things first, let's really get a handle on why this is such a mind-bending puzzle. Because it's not as simple as sound waves hitting your eardrums, right? It goes way deeper. It's about how that physical stuff creates this totally personal, subjective experience inside your head.
This right here, this is what some philosophers call the hard problem of music. Think about it. On one side, you've got all the physical stuff you can measure, right? The sound waves, the brain activity, you can see it on a screen. But then, on the other side, where does the feeling come from? The actual experience of listening, the joy, the memories that pop up, the meaning you get from it. How does the physical stuff become that? That gap between the two, that is the real mystery we're talking about.
Okay, so where do we even start to unpack this thing? Let's begin with one of the most fundamental things music does for us. It organizes time. I mean, how does our brain take a bunch of separate sounds and somehow stitch them together into a melody that makes sense? Seriously, think about this for a second. When you're listening to a melody, you're not just hearing one note and then another in these little isolated moments. If you only ever heard the single note that was playing right now, music wouldn't work. It would just be a meaningless jumble of sounds. So what's the magic trick? How does our mind connect the dots? Well, the answer has a name. It's a mental process called retention. And it's actually pretty cool. Your mind doesn't just hear a note and then immediately throw it away. Instead, it kind of holds on to the notes that just played. It keeps them fresh in your awareness, just for a moment. And that is what lets you hear the current note not as an island, but as part of the whole musical idea. And there was this philosopher, Husserl, who just nailed it. He said our consciousness literally holds on to the past tones to create the melody. But here's where it gets really mind-blowing. This holding on thing, it's not just for music. It's how we understand, well, everything. It's how you understand this sentence I'm saying right now, how you follow a conversation, how you experience your life as a continuous story. Music just puts this amazing ability of our minds right out in the open.
But wait, it gets even cooler, because this whole listening thing, it's not just happening in your brain, between your ears. No way. It's a full body experience. Your entire physical self is in on the action.
This is where we get to this amazing idea called embodied cognition. It's basically the concept that your mind and your body are not two separate things. They're a team. You think, you feel, you perceive with your entire being. So when you're listening to music, your body is actually, on some level, secretly mimicking the physical movements that it took to make that sound. It's creating this super deep physical bond with the music.
And this all leads to a really fantastic idea from a guy named Christopher Small. He came up with this term, musicking. His point was that we should stop thinking of music as a thing, like a noun. Instead, we should think of it as an action, as a verb. Music isn't something you just have or listen to, it's something you do, with your mind and with your body.
And you totally know what I'm talking about, right? It's that urge to tap your feet or nod your head that you can't even control. It's that physical tension you feel building up in a song and then, that sweet release. Or what about goosebumps? That shiver down your spine when a song hits just right? That's not just in your head. That's your body right there, actively musicking. Okay, so we've established that our minds and bodies are basically hardwired to have these deep musical experiences. But here's the next layer. We don't just sit back and let it happen to us. We actively use music. In fact, we're using it all the time to build the world we live in.
And the key idea here is to start thinking of music as a kind of technology. Not, a tech with silicon chips and wires, but a technology for managing yourself. It's a tool, a powerful tool we use to control our mood, to structure our day, to pump up our energy. Honestly, it's one of the most important pieces of kit we have for just getting through life.
And come on, we all have this personal toolkit, don't we? You've got your workout playlist that gets you moving. You've got that chill, ambient stuff you put on to really focus at work. You've got that one sad song you go to when you need to feel your feelings, or that anthem that instantly connects you with your old friends. We're all doing it. We're basically the DJs of our own inner world. So if we can use music to fine-tune our everyday lives, what's the next level up? Well, we can take it even further. We can use music to intentionally, deliberately transform our state of consciousness.
Now, there are a bunch of ways to do this, a lot of different paths you could take, but we're going to look at two really powerful examples that come up in the source material. On one hand, you have the focused, disciplined path of meditation, and on the other, you've got the much more unpredictable path of using music while in a drug-induced state.
So first, let's take a look at Drupad. This is a very ancient vocal tradition from North India, and the practice itself is basically a type of meditation. It starts with the singer focusing with incredible intensity on just one single note, the swar. And as they concentrate, the line between them and the sound starts to dissolve. It gets blurry. Until, as one master put it, you become the raga. You become the music itself. It's this incredible journey into a pure meditative state, all guided by sound.
And then there's the other path, the less predictable one. Blues musician John P. Hammond didn't mince words. He said that cannabis played around like hell with time perception. And for some musicians, what that does is it just blows up their sense of time. It stretches out the spaces between the notes. It basically hacks that retention ability we were talking about before. And in doing so, it creates an entirely different musical universe to explore.
So, when you look at both of these paths, the disciplined practice or the chemically assisted one, what they both show is that music gives us a way into experiences that we just don't have words for. And maybe Aldous Huxley said it best. After silence, that which comes nearest to expressing the inexpressible is music.
So what does this all mean? It means music isn't just some passive thing that you hear. It's a tool. It's a technology that you use, whether you realize it or not, to build your perception, your mood, your actual reality. And once you know that, it changes everything about listening. It's not passive anymore. It's an active, conscious choice. So, that leaves just one question for you. If music builds your reality, what world are you going to choose to listen to next?